This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with our prize guy. We're here at the National Stadium. Delighted to be joined with the new Irish super welterweight champion, Daniel O'Sullivan. How does it feel?
Oh, unbelievable, unbelievable. Normally after my fights I don't cheer or much or anything like that. I just expect, but I think that fight was very close. And I was one stage when they were announcing it, I was like, oh, I'm not going to get this. And then when they announced it, I won. It was just pure, unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, I was a bit worried. It's hard, obviously, to not win there. I felt like I was constantly pressing him. You know, that obviously was scoring, but he was landing some good, slick shots. But a lot of them were tippy-tappy kind of shots, you know what I mean? And I know they were sharp and good and stuff like that. And I was a bit messy at times, but there I go, criticising myself already. But but I was a bit you know, it was a very close fight. So I'm happy that I got the decision because, you know, if it went the other way, I would have been obviously heartbroken. But it could have probably went the other way, you know, depending on what you were scoring for, I think.
That was two fights back to back the night that were absolute cracking fights. Jay's obviously put on a cracking card. Your tactics going in, did you probably know that Dean was going to be sharp the first couple of rounds, and probably you're having to take punishment going in to sort of work the body? Was the plan all along to try and slow him down by breaking down the body?
Yeah, 100%. The plan, in fairness, I maybe didn't give him as much credit going into it as I thought. I knew he was a super amateur, obviously his amateur career and stuff like that. I knew the first 4 rounds I was going to be chasing the fight, but I didn't mind kind of losing the first 4. I just didn't want to lose them too much, you know, let him get off too many shots. But I thought I'd start taking over 5, 6, and I thought he'd slow down. But in fairness, he dug in a lot more than he did. I was getting tired in there, and I was saying, right, surely he's feeling it more. But next of all, he'd come off with a flurry of shots and all. I was like, he's not going to stop. So I thought, going in, as I said, I thought I would get him out there, but he, in fairness, I give him a lot of credit. He's a lot more bottled than I expected, you know. So.
Did you probably get Dean Walsh at the right time? Obviously, he's been trying to fast track sort of through. If he was probably around a few more fights like yourself, it might have been probably a tougher fight in some ways. So fair play to Dean for sort of stepping up so early on.
Yeah, of course, 100%. He's, you know, the amount of amateur experience he had, and I said I had to show the difference between the amateurs and the pros, because I thought I thought he'd only be good. I thought he'd only be good for the first few, but he did have good 10 rounds in him, in fairness, you know. And I thought, yeah, if I got him 10, 12 fights in, it would have been a different thing altogether, because he'd be more adapted to the pro, and you can see he can adapt to the pro. He's going to learn just as much as I learned in there tonight, and he's going to get better as am I. And you know, we were offered to fight him. I think he was saying in the Tree Arena, I was offered that for a 6-round fight. And it would have been stupid to fight him over 6 rounds, you know, and I knew that. Where I wanted him over 10 or 12, and you could see in there that my little bit more pro experience really showed, you know. It's I'm suited more so for the pro game, and I feel that's what kind of got me over the line in the end.
It's one of them things, and hopefully nobody takes us in the wrong way, but amateur boxing and professional boxing are completely different sports. If you boxed him over 3 rounds in an amateur fight, he probably won all 3 rounds. You know, that's the way it is. But obviously it's 2 different sports. But did you hang on to a lot of confidence knowing that, you know, he's been so suited to the amateurs that you were going to take him places? You know, he probably wasn't hit as many times to the body as he was tonight, and he probably knew going in you were a brilliant body puncher. I just want to stop for a second and somebody was your idol growing up in Ricky Hatton. It was his passing, it was his funeral today. Such fitting thing that someone that's a really good body puncher like you is showing people a lasting memory of Ricky Hatton there.
Yeah, and you know what? I obviously, one of the actually only books I ever read was Ricky Hatton's autobiography. I was such a big fan of Ricky Hatton, and only yesterday I watched Ricky Hatton versus Paulie Malignaggi. I thought that'd be such a fitting fight for this. You know, Paulie Malignaggi was slick, great jab, and I knew that's what I was going in expecting Dean to have. So I seen how Ricky Hatton just kept at him and at him. You know, he took a good few shots trying to get in on him, but he never deterred in all of his fights. You know, but especially that fight, I really was trying to kind of nearly emulate that. You know, and yeah, that was big time. I always look up to him.
You're going to get some serious confidence out of that. Now, obviously, you know, that's 3 belts. I put a post up saying you're a treble winner. That's 3 belts in a row. Celtic middleweight champion, Celtic super welterweight champion, now Irish super welterweight champion. You've conquered Ireland. You know. I'm not sure you want to hang about now and have a defence of your Irish title. You're one of these guys that's have gloves will travel or fight anybody. Where do you sort of lay in the land now? Do you go, I've completed the domestic scene and want to move on? Where does the lay of the land go for you?
Yeah, 100%. I feel you know, me and Jay talked before this fight, and Pascal as well, and we said this Irish title, it's going to open doors, especially such a big name like Dean Walsh. You know, he's well known worldwide, and you know, going in there, a lot of people would have thought, he was, I was probably the underdog. I don't think they were taking bets on it. I was looking on Paddy Power all week, but they probably would have had me the underdog, just because of his name and his pedigree and stuff like that. So I really feel like, the boxing world is kind of, going to know my name now after that. As you say, that's 3 good fights. I went in 2 fights as the away fighter. There tonight it was kind of 50-50, but as I said, I would have been probably the underdog. So I feel like this should open doors now. I think the Irish title gets you top 15 in Europe.
I was just saying to your S&C coach there, it used to be that it got you in the top 15. It depends on the weight division nowadays. With the calibre of an opponent you've beat there as well, it's probably going to bode well. I guess it depends on how the BUI lobby it with the EBU.
Yeah, true, yeah. But then I was looking on BoxRec the other day at the show, and I seen that I think I'm like the first or, the highest ranked on this show in the world on BoxRec. I think I was 201 or 202 or something like that. I know BoxRec doesn't mean that much, but I'm going to break into the top probably 100 now, maybe after that, or, near enough it. So hopefully that does open doors, maybe a big fight in England, or I hear there's Echo fight in Arena in December or something like that.
Arena in March?
Oh, March, is it? Yeah. Well, then I get more of a break, so yeah, but that'd be brilliant, something like that, like a big show now after this. Like, I feel like I kind of earned it a little bit, and I always feel like I'm in entertaining fights. Like, that fight was very, very tough. The crowd were going crazy the whole time, and I feel like I'm value for money. So I think any big show that put me on, I'll always give my all, like I did in there tonight,
What's the secret? Is it the new woman? Is it the S&C? Because your S&C coach says it's been with you 4 fights now and you have 3 belts. Obviously the missus is going to say it's her. What's the secret to this winning formula that just keeps getting better and better?
It's just literally non-stop every single day. Like, it's a grind, it's obviously here tonight, it's great when you're on the big stage and stuff like that, but every day it's like I go straight from work straight to the gym. I'm in the gym 3-4 hours a day, and I do love it, but it's not easy either. It's great when you have the fights coming up and you're in camp and you have that thing to focus on, but it's the in-between that where I think that's where I made a lot of difference. I've constantly improved, where a lot of lads come in their camps and then they go off, where I'm literally there every single day, and I will be back again on Monday. Pascal will be kicking me out of the gym, but it's just that constant grind and constant learning and want to be better. And I don't know where it comes from, but it's inside me anyway, the want, and the willpower to just keep getting better and improving.
You're going to be in that running now as well for Fight of the Year as well. Obviously, it might be a tough task to beat Lewis Crocker, obviously becoming world champion, but like, you starting to pinch yourself at these moments. Like, there's 3 belts, you're climbing up the rankings, you're beating someone that was a really, really good amateur, and Dean Walsh. Like, you start to believe more that, where does this dream take you to? Like, you're just sort of pushing these buttons and going, let's try for another one, let's try for another one. You never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah, 100%. Like, for me, as I said, like, it's small, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, but this means the world to me. Like, the last time someone fought for this belt, I was doing the corner with Craig, and I was happy just to be doing the corner there, and I just love being around boxing, and now getting in there and doing it myself. Like, even that last round, like, it was such a grind and it was tough, but I kept talking to him. I said, come on, let's keep going, because I just buzz off it, and I love, the crowd cheering, and I never thought I'd be in there. I doubted myself so much for so long. I always thought, it's too late to start boxing, or I'd never be good enough. And I still have those kind of doubts some days, but, now I'm starting to believe I think I am a little bit good at this anyway.
Whenever you won your last Celtic belt, I think the next day you went for a run with the missus. Like, is that your way of celebrating now? Will you be out for a run tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we will. We signed up for the... there's a 5K, the homeless charity 5K in the park in the morning, so we signed up for that, but I don't know, it might be a little sore now in the morning. I might walk it.
How will you celebrate, obviously, other than the fact of adrenaline rush going running? Like, how will you celebrate this? Because it's a big moment for you.
It's a big moment, but like, just with my family and stuff like that, I'll celebrate. Like, I'll go home. I don't like saying it, but the last while, my nan, she's been going through, like, I live with my nan and my granddad, and she's been going through a tough battle with cancer. So she's actually going through chemotherapy. So seeing her doing that the last while has, like, just the motivation of seeing that, and every day she's battling that, and she's absolute champion. You wouldn't even know that she's going through it, and she's coming out. Like I said, I'm going to go win this belt for her. Like, she's doing her battle and she's beating it every day, and I went and won my battle. So it's kind of like this was for her tonight, it really was.
Where she's inspired you and motivated you, you've done the same for her tonight. But winning that belt, that's going to give her so much inspiration. It's great sometimes to hear stories like that, because it's then wee things that motivate you. It add extra things to you, and you know that you want her to keep fighting, so you're not going to stop fighting.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just want to go home to her now and see her, you know, and that's how I'll celebrate, just with family and stuff, and a lot of eating. That's how I'll do it. But yeah, it's been great motivation for me. I'm sure her heart was in her mouth for 10 rounds there, but probably took her mind off everything that's going on at the moment, and hopefully that she can, I know she will come out, like I came out of that battle there tonight, she'll come out victorious as well.
Well, that's a good way to end it. Obviously, I'm going to let you go and obviously get all these belts off you because they're starting to weigh you down. You probably feel like you've done 50 rounds now, but congratulations, obviously becoming the Irish super welterweight champion, and I'm sure we'll hopefully catch up with you soon.
100%. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheers, Dan. Thank you.